she's on one. I think we need three. Then we're good. You got a small chair.
Or disappear, I gotta walk around. It's killing me.
She
My
got
back's killing me.
fibromyalgia.
Oh boy.
One day she's good, next day she's in pain.
Take there's no fix for that.
She ain't went to races once this year.
You can just make half-mile laps, round and round.
It's much more better too. Yeah, whatever I do today, I'll suffer tomorrow.
Mm.
Alright, there you go, honey. That's the way I fall. Whatever I say today, I'll suffer tomorrow. This song's about 3 minutes, so that ought to be good. I don't remember everything.
So you guys racing this weekend then?
Yeah, I guess.
Yep.
That's hunting season.
Oh yeah? You hunt around here and
Yeah,
South?
I'm there close to my house. Now Cody does go. He went to Carolina last
They
year.
went to Carolina. One year they
They
went
went
to
to
Georgia.
Maine one time too, didn't they?
Yeah,
for elk.
where are they going this
They
year?
didn't get anything, but
They're going somewhere. I don't know
he
where.
did last year down in Carolina. He shot one 800 yards a buck. And the guy come up, they put him in spots, you know, the guy come up and said, "Where'd you see this buck at?" He says, "Oh, you don't never shoot that far. You missed that deer." He was like, "No, I hit that deer. I heard the bullet." He said, "No, you don't never shoot that far." He says, 500 yards about the most you ever shoot. He's like, him and those buddies of his, they were shooting 800-900 yards every weekend. Just to get the guns, you know, used to doing that.
Yep.
And he went up, I think, 25 yards from where he said it was.
Nice.
It was a nice buck, though.
Yeah.
But I think he was the only one got.
Yeah, Tyler got that
Tyler
hog.
got that hog. Big hog. This is a really big hog for that area.
Really?
We still got a minute and 20. Kind of quiet tonight, isn't it? Yeah, like I said, we planned on trying to hit a couple other tracks this year, but it just didn't work out. Whenever you're struggling, you don't feel like going to the one close to you, let alone.
Yeah. Were you guys close to Henderson? You're pretty close to Henderson.
Yeah, like 3 miles. 4
Oh, really?
miles. Yeah.
Heck yeah. Our closest one's like 30 minutes. That's the Grove.
I didn't know you lived in Newville.
Yep.
I was thinking like you lived up in, farther up in PA somewhere.
Everybody always thought we lived close to Bedford. We always went to Bedford, but no, that's like an hour, 10 minutes for us. We just always like going up there and.
Hagerstown ain't closer for you, Newville.
Oh yeah, it's close too. So usually, like whenever we first started, we'd hit Bedford on Friday and then we'd head to Hagerstown on Saturday. So my first year in late model, I struggled with Hagerstown pretty bad.
It's a tough place.
Yeah.
And welcome everybody to the On Track with Mike show. I'm your host Mike Kirshner here. I've got my wife Shirley with me. And we got another good show planned here tonight. It was a little late getting it posted on the internet there. I apologize for that. But, you know, right now, life's hectic, I guess. So,
But last time I almost forgot it, Shirley, so I'm going to get it out of the way right away now. But, you know, as always, we want to thank Todd Ward of TA Ward Construction. We want to thank WRGG 93.7 FM and everybody here at the Wade Lynn Studios in Greencastle for giving us the opportunity. And we got talking so much last week, we almost forgot to thank everybody. But, you know, Mike Donald, Mike Donald, I want to say I got Mike Donald there. Todd Ward, TA Ward Construction, over 40 years of experience. He's a veteran, local veteran, fully insured. For all your home improvement needs, call Todd at 717-331-4974. Mike Donald must be thinking about me.
Oh, we got a comment here.
I got Shirley mic'd up tonight, boy. I'm ready.
Donnie Farling says, "Have fun, kid. I'm watching while I'm working on your car." Laugh out loud.
That's a setup there, boy. That's a setup. Maybe we can plan this for every Tuesday, and then you can have your car ready to go whenever you get back to the shop.
Yeah, heck yeah.
I do want to say happy birthday to my granddaughter McKenna.
Yes, happy birthday, McKenna.
19 years old today, and heck of a young lady. And she, what should I say, Shirley? She dances to her own drum, don't she? I mean,
she's her own person.
Yeah, she ain't one of them people that follows people. She's her own
does
person,
her own
and
thing.
you accept her for what she is, and
What you see is what you
know,
get.
Yep, that's right. And we need more people like that.
She's got a good heart.
Also, tomorrow night, the Auto Racing Club of Hagerstown is going to have Robbie Allen as guest speaker. That's going to be a good monthly meeting. That is in I believe it's the Ruritan building in Morgansville, right off of 81. It ain't hard to get to. As soon as you get off 81, you just go down the road just a little ways, and it's right there. So it's easy to get to. So that's going to be tomorrow night. What time does that start, Shirley? 6 or 7, I think.
I'm not certain on that. If you go at 6 and they ain't there yet, you can always go to the ice cream shop across the street.
Yeah, go to the ice cream shop. But they got food. They are going to have food and stuff.
Yeah, but
food
you can
and
have
stuff.
ice cream dessert
Yeah.
before you eat.
All right.
It's never a bad idea.
Anything else you want to say?
Todd Ward says, "Good evening, guys."
Hey, Todd. Well, we got a great guest here in the studio. Somebody's been we just talking in the other room area, been on a hot streak here lately. But we got Taylor Farling here in the studio. And Taylor, I believe we got you mic'd up. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming. I know it was a little bit of short notice for you, but I appreciate you changing your schedule or whatever you had to do, letting your dad work on the race car so you could come here.
Yeah, this year he's been taking care of the car basically, the whole year for me. It usually be in Newville with me, and I'd be trying to take care of it through the week and help with family and try to keep up with our shop at home. But Dad offered help this year, and I mean, racing's been a heck of a lot nicer here this year with having that stress off my back. And I really wouldn't have the season I'd be having this year if it wasn't for him.
Now, as good as you've been this year, he might be able to hire himself out.
Yeah, he knows his way around a race car, that's for sure.
That always helps.
Got a comment here, Luke Linker.
Hey, Luke.
Tell them about the time you were shunned by a racetrack because you made a mistake.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that a little bit. We're not going into great details, but we're going to talk. If he's talking about the incident that everybody else is talking about, but
Mark Huffman says hello. Hello, Mark.
you know me, I touch things and I call it like I see it. And
Got another one from Luke. Luke says when he goes forward instead of backwards, he wins. Brian Jones. Hey, everyone. Thanks again for last week. Hey, Brian.
hey, Brian, he was trying to get his lap back. That's what he was doing. He thought he was a lap down.
Yeah.
But, well, Taylor, I know you got a dad that races. I was really surprised. I didn't realize your dad till probably a few months ago that he runs a Super Sportsman up at Path Valley, and I guess I know he ran a E-Mod for a while, I think.
Yep.
And so you, did his dad race, your grandpap?
Pap got a chance in his cars a couple times. I mean, mainly he's been car owner. He'll tell you the story. His mom didn't want him racing, and his wife didn't want him racing. So whenever we first got my first street stock, I was too young to drive it, and he was 69 years old at the time, and he said, "I'm going to drive it." So he drove it like 3 or 4 times at Bedford, and the last time he drove it, he was 2 wheels up on the side of the wall, and after that was about the end of it. But he run a Dorf car at Shippensburg a couple times, and he'd take his cars out for warm-ups from time to time, but yeah, he never really got the full chance to actually run the car of season or anything like that. But I mean, he's ran it enough to, tell you how to drive it whenever he sees you're doing something wrong.
I didn't realize you all had a street stock.
Yeah, I started at 14. We had a Camaro. We bought off a Gutshaw, and the next year we had a Monte Carlo that we built from the frame up, and I run that for a year. We ran at the Grove for a season. We went to Bedford and Hagerstown, and Heston a handful of times, but we went to the Grove for points, and I almost got my first win up there, and I took the lead on lap 4 or 5 and led it all the way till the end of the race, and the ADD and Hoffman, we were all racing for the lead, and I went to the bottom on 3 and 4 to block Hoffman, and Greg Deal got me on the outside by a foot. And it was the worst second place finish I ever had in my life. But
They're the tough ones to take.
yeah. I mean, everybody was, happy.
The last lap deals, the last corner deals, it's happened to almost everybody, and that's the ones it's like, it's really hard to take. But
Yep.
so what I'm trying to get to is you had family in racing. I'm trying to get to your first experience with racing. Was you a little kid, or?
I never got to drive go-karts. I mean, my first experience was always helping Dad, with his late model and stuff, and tightening up nuts and bolts. I pretty well just started as tightening up body bolts and stuff like that, so I didn't break anything. But as I got older and learned more, then we.
I mean, you remember racing, like being at the racetrack since you was wee little.
Oh yeah, yep. Playing with my cars and grandstands and playing in the dirt and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, I've been around racing as long as I could walk. But yeah, I mean, just helping on the cars before I got to actually race them.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I mean, a lot of people got to sit in the stands and just watch and don't really have a clue what's going on. You had a little bit of a head start, so to speak. So you they got you a street stock, and you wasn't old enough to drive it?
Yeah, I mean, whenever we went to the Grove, they had a rule for how old you were allowed to be in the pits, and I was too young.
You used to be like 14, but
yeah.
I don't know.
Yep. Well, we raced that feature, and then they told us that I was too young. So then the next year they called us, and I was 15 at the time, and they told us that they changed the age around. So then we were able to come back and race there. But yeah, I drove a race car before I was able to drive anything out on the road.
Well, I don't know about you, but I'm a little older than you, but I remember, like, you could not wait until you got 14 years old. Like, I remember going to Hagerstown Speedway and, like waiting, and finally my dad could fill out one of them papers, and, then you're allowed to go in. Man, you walked in that pits like you was king, and like, this is great, because you didn't have to sit up in the stands with the women anymore. I don't know why. I mean, I guess we was too young, but man, Shirley, why didn't we make fake IDs back then? We could have been like 9 years old and said we was 14.
We was a different generation back then. We was good people.
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, I remember that. That was a big deal for dirt track kids whenever they turned 14. Most tracks was 14. And then you could finally get in the pits and hang out with the guys and see what was going on. Now, I couldn't imagine driving a race car. Nowadays, you see it more and more.
Oh, yeah.
12, 13 years old. But,
Yep.
I mean, back then, that was probably, you was probably unheard of for a kid your age to be behind the wheel of a race car.
Yeah, I was gonna say there wasn't too many like me.
What was going to school like?
No, I mean,
That had to be pretty cool.
bragging rights.
Walking through the, I'd have worn my driving suit to school.
Yeah. No, I mean it was cool. It kind of, whenever I first got my permit, I took my first 90-degree corner at about 45 mile an hour. And I thought I did it right, and it's a good thing there was nobody on the other side of the road because I used up both lanes coming through the corner, and I definitely had to tone it back a little bit and figure out I wasn't on a racetrack at the time. But
Now,
yeah.
growing up, did you have stuff around the house? Like, it seemed like, I know for like me and my son, like we had go-karts, snowmobiles, four-wheelers, three-wheelers. So, I mean, like not that we raced them, but we had an idea, like when it snowed, we'd fly around cornfields and throw the thing in the corner sideways. And so not that you're driving a race car, but you had a little bit of an idea, the sensation of like what being sideways. Because I know some people struggle with that. Some people never drove their first couple races. As soon as the car steps out a little bit, they think they're going to spin out.
Yep.
And did you have things like that around that you learned?
Yeah, I mean, we had four-wheelers and stuff growing up, but definitely my first couple of races, though, in the street stock, I didn't let it kick out.
Kept her straight.
I'd put the pedal to the metal going down the straightaway and back off early and coast around the corner, and then as soon as I seen the straightaway again, it was just pedal to the metal again. But we got better as the year went on, but I think the first time I figured out kind of how to kick the car sideways was Path Valley. There was a 75 lapper or something, and we were running for a while, and I was getting more comfortable with the car, and we ended up we started to overheat, but I went back out there, and I don't remember how it all ended up, but we were back out there around the leaders, and we just kind of started keeping pace with everybody, and the car would look like it should have looked like, and from that point we just started to get better.
Anything, Shirley?
No, we don't have anything. But,
Okay.
nothing was ever normal.
I seen
around
writing
our
on there.
house when it came to driving things. So
Well, I mean, like,
not when you got a 9-year-old that's teaching a 14-year-old to drive straight stick.
yeah, but I mean, like, when I started racing, I was already, older, so, like, I was driving a car. But, like, Taylor's deal, I mean, he wasn't even driving a car, maybe around the yard or something, but I mean, to get in a full...
They did that at our house. They
Mhm.
had old beat-up cars they drove around.
To get in a car, a
Yep.
race car, and hit the racetrack, and, like, you're not used to, going around bends and going down a road and, swerving around stuff, so, I mean, that had to be pretty intimidating.
Oh yeah, luckily we have cornfield out back, and I was always like worried. I was like, man, I don't want to stall it out in front of everybody and they laugh at me and this and that. And I was like, I got to learn how to drive this thing because I drove a handful of stuff. My first car was a Mustang and it was a 4-speed, and Dad put me on his lap and I'd figure out how to work the gas and the steering wheel and stuff like that. But I wasn't comfortable with a manual transmission at the time, and I was like, man, I don't want to look like a fool. So we'd go out back in the field, and I learned how to do that. And I think it was like a couple of days before we actually went to the racetrack. But yeah, I mean, I seen my cousin. He started my 3rd year of racing, and he was older than me, 4 or 5 years older, and he took to it a lot quicker as far as figuring out speed and everything, a lot quicker than I did. And I really think because he was already used to going that fast with a car on the road and stuff like that, like it didn't seem like it took him too long to kind of get the hang of it. And I mean, obviously he was a Farling too, so it was in his blood anyways. But yeah, I think not having really any experience with going like that speed, especially with the sound and cars around you, like it's a whole nother world whenever you're in the driver's seat. So
Yeah, I can't imagine being, like I say, I know now there's lots of kids 12, 13 years old running late models, but man, to be 14 years old and to get in a street stock and go out there and run on, especially a track as big as William Grove, was like, geez, I mean, that had to be intimidating as heck.
yeah, it was something. I mean, going from the late model, and then my cousin left me run the street stock for warm-ups one night, and I went from the late model back into it. I didn't realize how fast we were going in the late model with a 2-barrel over a 4-barrel, and I didn't realize, I felt like there could have been more throttle coming out of that thing going down the straightaway. But whenever I was just running the straight stocks, I mean, it felt fast. But yeah, it was a whole new thing for me.
So you didn't win any in the street stock. You almost won. What
Yep.
Greg Dill beat you there on the last lap.
Yep.
So then what you decide to? You decide to go late model, or?
I did. My dad thought it was my best interest because the Camaro was a leaf spring car,
Yeah.
and we went to the Monte Carlo, which was a coilover, and I struggled with it for a little while, and then all of a sudden we just hit on something, and that car was just, it was a great car, and we started doing really good, and I had to use my cousin's car for small car nationals, and we went to Hagerstown, and we didn't qualify that night, and I kept telling Dad, I was like, I can't feel the car, like I don't feel anything in the ass end, there's no movement. And at that point, he decides, he's like, well, he says, I'm going to put you in a late model before you pick up any bad habits. But he says, if you're feeling the car, he says, that's what you want to do. So that's the next year we ended up pulling one of his old rockets out of the trailer and put it together. And that was my first year in the late model.
What year was that about?
Started 2014, so it was 2016.
How'd that go?
Not great. Yeah.
Not great. He shook his head. Yeah, not great.
Yeah, we.
I think it's say really good.
No, I wish I could, but we were good at Bedford, but we were going to Hagerstown too, and Hagerstown was slick, and I just you definitely had to be a whole lot easier on the throttle and make sure you were underneath with your car, and I just struggled that year trying to get a handle on it, and we stayed there for points and kept trying, and we got better that year, but that year just we had a lot of tore up sheet metal, and we didn't have a very good year.
Now, is that the era of the limiteds when they had the 2 barrels on them?
No, we were 4 barrels,
4 barrels?
but I think we were running 1600 right rears at the time.
Yeah.
So, and I mean even that, like going from having a hard tire to a soft tire at Bedford and stuff, like I felt pretty comfortable at there because I run a lot of laps up there, but Hagerstown being dry and slick, and then having 1600 on the right rear, that just made it even more fun trying to figure out the car.
And there was a group of people that was really good on that tire.
Oh, yeah.
Down in Hagerstown. A few of them.
I've got a comment on here. Will Rao. Will Rao says when he started racing, you had to have a driver's license.
Yeah, but they had stone wheels back then.
Oh, Will, did you hear that?
Betty's probably listening. I guarantee I'll be in trouble. She'll send me to the barn. You had to be, so when Will started racing, you had to be 16, had to have a driver's license.
Yeah.
That makes sense. It does.
Yeah.
That's a guy there that's really, he's had a rough time with his racing.
That's a guy
He
that's
stuck with it.
he went to the races with stuff that shouldn't have been racing, and he never gave up.
Yep.
But so you didn't do very good the first year. Was you ready to throw the towel in?
Oh no, I figured eventually we were gonna get better. I mean, I don't go to the races to finish second or anything, but I knew first year in a late model, I mean, I couldn't expect, crazy things to happen unless, it was just meant to be. So like the first year we just rode it out and we got better, but then the second year we went to Bedford and we run there for points, and we ended up 5th in points. Dad won the championship that year, and we had a bunch of seconds. We didn't get a win that year. We got a win the next year. But I mean, I was definitely feeling the car a whole lot better. We were a lot more comfortable in the seat, and then from there it just started to get better and better as the years went on by.
I'm sure it helped having your dad there. I mean, it's a lot of people when they go into those late models, they go in blind, and like you don't know anything. You don't have no tools. You got to ask everybody, what do I need to do this, or how should I do this? And I mean, it's probably pretty cool to have your dad there, and at least you knew that you wasn't wasting numerous races with the car being totally out of whack.
Mm-hmm.
Like some people probably do because they don't have no guidance.
Yep.
So that helped your learning curve probably tremendously there.
Oh yeah, and we definitely we fed off of each other. I mean, out in the track, it was always competitive. We didn't run into each other or nothing because we knew we were going to have to help fix the other one if we tore it up. But I mean, he was always the one that I wanted to try to beat. No matter what, it just wanted to beat my dad. But we always were able to bounce ideas off of each other, and one would try something on his car. If it worked, great. But we always drove different, so it didn't always work to where we could run the same setups. But it definitely helped having two brains on the same subject trying to figure each car out. And I mean, we definitely, as the better as I got, the better he got. I mean, he the year that he won his championships at Bedford and Hagerstown, I mean, he had a real good year, and we were having a good year ourselves. But it just, like, I think probably the year before that, we just started, like, everything just started to click. Like, everything just started working, and we were having really good success, good finishes both ends. But I don't know how it would have went if it was just one of us or, compared to two of us. But it definitely seemed like it helped having both of us out in the track and trying things and figuring things out for one another. So
I can't imagine the work that's involved. I know probably 3-4 years ago, maybe even more, I can't remember, but when you guys first started noticing you guys coming like to Hagerstown with 2 cars and all, thinking, man, 2 cars, 2 trailers, 2 motors, that's got to be tough. I mean, it's hard to find help, and to have 2 cars at the track, especially traveling a little distance and everything. It's a lot of work. People don't realize how hard it is to run 1 car, let alone run 2. But I was like, man, those guys show up with 2 cars.
Yep.
Got a comment here. This is laugh out loud. I know the feeling of not doing very good the first year, and that was Dylan Pryor.
Oh, Dylan. Yeah, but I bet you blowed up more motors than he did, Dylan. Dylan was running a 270 micro sprint, and those things must be really, really finicky on burning pistons and stuff.
Yeah, I could imagine. Yeah, I know whenever it was me and Dad at the shop, whenever we both worked together at the garage, and then, we were out at the shop every evening, but, me and him were the main guys working on the cars. Pap was still there with us. I mean, he was always consistent. But, Dad was working on his car. I was working on my car. And, thank God Dad was there because I was still, learning a lot of this stuff. But Dad, was a good role model. And between him and Pap, those are the 2 main guys on really why I'm racing here today.
How is it working all day with your dad and then going to the shop all evening?
Believe it or not, I mean, me and him, like, working on cars, like, me and him were just 2 peas in a pod. I don't know a better duo between me and him because usually I knew what he was doing, he knew what I was doing, and, like, we just always were smooth with each other working. And, we had our scruffles here and there, but that's just like any other family.
Yeah, right.
But, no, honestly, I mean, for as many hours we spent with each other, everything was always pretty peachy, actually.
That's probably the passion.
Yeah.
Kept you going, that passion. And also it's, I know from my perspective, it was, I knew where my son was. I knew what he was doing. Like when all his buddies was out running around on Friday night, we was in the shop working together. And, it just, you have your rough times, but it's also quality time.
Yep.
And you're.
Got a comment here. Donnie Farling. It's still that way. I am not taking all the glory with this year. Him and I talk almost every day.
See, he's starting to get his pricing figured out.
Yep.
I'm just joking. So when did you have an idea that this might be something that you, not that you was going to give up, but when did you have an idea you started seeing some success that that you was going to start something that you knew could be long-term into a career? Not a career as far as being paid to race, but I mean like a hobby.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, like, my second year in the street stock, like, even though we didn't get a win, but those boys at the Grove we were racing against, like Hoffman and Greg Deal, like, those guys are good in the business as far as street stock racing, and like we were racing with them, passing them. I wouldn't say we were beating on them or anything like that, but to know we were racing against them and that we were competitive. I didn't think I was a bad driver or anything like that. I didn't know really what was in the future or what we were capable of, but with racing, there's always bad nights and there's always good nights. So there was no question on whether or not I was going to keep racing. I was always planning on sticking with it. But yeah, I mean, pretty well. I mean, I love the sport. I love racing, so I never really had any intentions of going away from it. I know last year was tough for me because we took over our business mechanic shop in Newville there, and I got 2 kids, a wife, and trying to keep a balance on a work week that's not 40 hours anymore. It's 60 if it stops there, because you can work your full day, but the problems don't stay at work. You gotta keep up on it. And
Definitely.
I had a good crew, Mike, Dave, they were always there to help me out, but trying to keep the balance with family, racing, and work, it was really getting tough. And like, honestly, if Dad didn't take over this year with helping with the car, like I was gonna go on a limited schedule, because I didn't see how I was gonna be able to keep my home life and my work life and racing life at an equal balance, because it was really starting to work the other way. So I mean, I wasn't going to give up on it, but it definitely wasn't going to be what it is now, because we just couldn't keep up with all the stuff that was coming at us and still try to race on top of it.
Well, with that being said, we have another comment here. Jordan Welsh, Taylor, still racing next year?
Oh yeah, yep, that's for sure. I don't know what we're doing next year. I'm not much of a points chaser, but I don't know what we're gonna do just yet. But I'm definitely gonna support the tracks that supported me. So, and you'll find me anywhere at a local racetrack. So.
Yeah, I mean, people don't realize how rough it is to basically run your own business and keep race cars going. I know that it's hurt us a little bit as far as performance, just because my son don't have as much time to spend in the shop as what he used to, because he might have to work late or something, but my dad had the company, so it was like, hey, I'm done for the day, I'm going, and now it's sometimes 7, 8 in the evenings, he's still out, working.
Yep.
But I just kind of told him that, don't want you to quit, but work comes before play, and if, you had a rough week and it's you're tired, and you have no business being in the car, just man up and say, I'm going to take this weekend off and, live to race another day, because you know how it is. These cars are so mental that if you're just wore out and just mentally drained from a week of work, it's your best option. I know nobody wants a miss, but your best option is to take a weekend and just relax a little bit and get your mind right before you get behind the wheel of one of these race cars.
Yep, that's for sure, and that's what last year felt like. It was starting to feel like a job. It wasn't fun. I mean, we were trying to figure things out, and we'd have a good week one week, and then we'd be zero the next week. So it's all about good mindset. If you don't have a good mindset rolling into the car, you're going to drive like it.
Oh, definitely. I mean, I tell people all the time, you just look at anybody that's winning a bunch of races. They are so confident when they get to the racetrack that they already got half the field beat mentally, because they have confidence. And it's not being cocky, it's being confident with your car, confident with your ability. And that's that's a big part of the battle.
Yep.
And you roll in, you have half the people beat just by you showing up, because they know that you got your stuff on point. And it helps you out because you're on a roll and things is going great. It's whenever the wheels falling off the wagon is when it's rough to go home on Saturday nights and lay in bed and think, man, do I really want to put myself through this?
Yep.
You know, I'm having a little bit of fun, but not not much. You know, and things just ain't going right, and you know.
Yep. I know all about that.
But it's such a big part of your life that I'm sure you have won enough that, you know, you and your dad both have felt the highs. And if, I don't know how to say this without, I don't want to put it down on anybody, but I don't know how some people that don't win or don't have a little bit of success, like, they just love the sport so much they just come to the track every week. Because that feeling of your dad's championship or you winning 4 or 5 races at Path Valley, how many ever you won this year up there and all, that is what your mind goes back to.
Yep.
To make you get out of bed on Saturday morning real early and head to the shop.
Yep.
You know, it's that high that you know, it ain't like you gotta win. It's just that's what keeps you going.
Yep.
You know, and I don't know how some people. I mean, some people just love it. They just show up and race, and you know, just happy wherever they finish. But
Yep.
once you've been successful, it's very hard because you felt that feeling, and that feeling is hard to duplicate.
Yeah, I was gonna say you know, I know my crew gets all excited and stuff whenever we, you know, finish in the top 5 or something, but anymore, you know, I just don't really want to settle for that. I want to, you know, if I can win, I'm going to try to win every week I can. So, and that's just what we go for now. And, you know, before, you know, coming up through, you know, we were happy with third places and stuff like that. You know, it's the first time getting it, and then it's just like anything else. Once you get used to that, and then you're always looking for the next thing.
Yeah, it's rough whenever nothing does anything but a win.
Yeah.
In this day and age, everybody's so competitive.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, everybody. There's no tracks where like you're just going to show up and be like, oh yeah, I got this. You know, I mean, everybody. This late model sportsman 358 steel block division is a tough division, and even when hard times is around. Like right now, I mean, you can get 30 at this track and 28 at this track. It's amazing how many cars is out there.
Yeah.
I got another comment here. Jordan Welsh, Taylor be running in crates with Branson in?
I don't have a crate motor. We kicked around getting a crate car for next year, but we ended up getting a good deal on a super motor. So we're gonna try dipping our feet in the super late racing here next year and see. I mean, I know our pockets aren't deep enough to afford it, but hopefully if everything goes smoothly and we don't have any engine issues, hopefully we can stick with it for a little while. We're still going to be running a lot of limited races, but we want to try to move the next stage up and see what we can do up there.
Yeah, that's everybody's goal. Just there ain't too many super races, unfortunately, but I know that that's what a lot of race teams like to do, just to try to get their feet wet and something new for you to try. What do you think your biggest accomplishment has been in racing?
Honestly, like as far as like consistency, I mean, we had that championship at Bedford in 2019. We got, hopefully, I mean, everything's lined up. We got one more points race at Pat Valley, and we'll get a championship up there. But honestly, like, I guess my biggest accomplishment and what I want to keep doing, I want to try to win as many different tracks that I can. Like, I want to, you know, I've got a handful of them checked off there, and that's more or less what does it to me. I'm not one to really like to stay at a track too long because, you know, I like traveling around and doing different stuff. So I guess what I'm still shooting for, and I'm hoping that, you know, we can keep on ticking things off, would just be getting wins at multiple different tracks. That's what does it for me. I'm not a big points racer. Like, I know it shows consistency and stuff like that, but I feel like I remember wins more than I'm gonna remember a championship. So
Them championships are nice to look back on.
yeah,
It's just you gotta, you gotta commit yourself to that deal, and it's nice if it's raining out, if it looks like it's going to rain, that you can make the decision to go someplace closer to home or not go at all, where you don't feel like we got to go to the racetrack because we're leading the points, and we got to drive all the way there, but the radar looks horrible. That's what I like about it. But it still is nice to look back on a championship and just walk in the shop and look up at that trophy or check or whatever it may be and be like, that was a good time.
yep.
Another comment, Jordan Welsh again. Taylor be running at Winchester, Virginia next year in 2026.
Yeah, I mean, we'll make an appearance up there. I don't know how many times. I like running at the track. The only downfall to it is just the haul up there. But no, I definitely will be up there. I don't know how many times, but like I said before, I'm going to support the tracks that supported me, so I'm going to be putting them on the schedule more than what I did here this past year. So, yeah, we'll be up there.
Rick Jones, Roaring Knob Motorsports Complex, add limited late models or sportsmen's to their schedule this Saturday night and the following Friday and Saturday, plus full day show of all other divisions.
Yeah, Rick, I got you covered, buddy. Roaring Knob, as far as if I got everything wrote down right, it's 800 to win for crate late models. UMP mods, 800 to win for limited late models. Having sport mods, Chargers, and 4-cylinders this weekend. So I'm not going to say my notes is always accurate, but I try. I tried in school, too. That didn't work out too good, did it, Shirley? You didn't know me in school, though, did you?
No, I didn't.
I hung out with all the cool people. But, well, that's
Almost sound like Alexa,
that
apparently.
is Alexa. I don't know.
Go sleep.
We didn't tell Alexa to do anything.
I told her to go sleep.
Now we're gonna get into the bad part of racing. We're not gonna go into it real deep. We're not gonna talk about anything you don't want to talk about. We're gonna be very professional with it. But what kind of person are you? Are you? I'm trying to word this where you don't feel like you got to say something you don't want to say. Are you a person that cares about what other people think? I mean, like, there's certain people that race. Not that they don't care about people, but there's certain people that race and they have learned to put that shell on to where whatever social media says, they could care less.
Yep.
And it's not that they're being mean or being bad. It's just they have been able to put this shell on. And then there's other people that you race every week and you try to satisfy everybody. You try to be like, hey man, didn't mean to get into you, and blah blah blah, and this person's complaining, this person's grandmother's whining, and because you bumped them, and you're just like, oh man, and some people just like, you know what, try to make everything cool, but it is what it is. And which one are you? I mean, I don't want to make you vulnerable or anything, but do you sit up at night and read the comments and think, why does people hate me like this, or why does people say these things?
Right. Well, I mean, whenever the whole deal happened this year, and honestly, like, I fell into the trap of looking through them comments, seeing what people said, people that didn't even know me, didn't know anything about the situation, and at first it was like, wow, like this is really, how we're gonna stoop down to this level here.
It's
and
amazing.
This is what we're gonna talk about. It's like, at first it really bothered me just seeing that kind of negativity, just because I've never experienced that, because I never really had a situation like this happen. And as it went on, I just figured out, these people that are saying this stuff, they don't matter to me really, because they don't know me.
It's hard to do that though.
Yeah. So, like, having to go through it, like, I could say now, like, I don't really care what the negative comments are about me or about what I did or what I will do. But I mean, as far as like at a racetrack or something, like, if I screw up or something like that, like I'm going to be the first one to tell whoever if I did screw up and I messed them up or something like that. You know, I'm sorry. You know, I didn't mean to do it. I'm gonna be the first one to apologize for it. But I try to pride myself on how I'd want to be raced would be how I'm going to race everybody else. Like, I'm not going to do anything dirty. If I see I'm going to get into you, I'm going to be the first one to try to hit the brakes, you know, steer away from you. I'm not going to see that I can gain a position if I get into you. I'm not going to use that to get around you. So, yeah, I mean, honestly, with how everything went, like, I will say, like, just seeing how people can get, I'm not going to let them bother me or, you know, keep me up at night thinking about it.
And there's a lot of people that has learned that, but there's other people that try to satisfy everybody, and it's horrible. The social media is great for keeping in contact with the races and all that, but the other stuff is just, I mean, it's ridiculous. Like you said, they're you know, like I said that week or whatever, enough's enough. You know, I mean, I don't know Dylan Stake. I don't really know you. I know of you guys, but it ain't like we're texting back and forth every week.
Right.
So it's not like I'm picking a side.
Right.
I'm just trying to pick what I think is right and wrong. You know, and did you do something that probably you shouldn't have did? Yeah. Have we all been there? Yeah. I mean, anybody that's driven a race car has most likely done something like that.
Yep.
You just have a night where it's 95 degrees out, you're hot, you're tired. It can be anything that just kind of sets it off. Your adrenaline's going because you're running good. All at once, within a split second, your adrenaline's down to zero because something just happened that took my night away.
Yep.
But anyway, this stuff of back and forth and people that don't even matter. I mean, they can say whatever they want to say. They don't have to listen to me. But I've said it before, our sport don't need this. It makes us look like a bunch of hillbillies and you know, people don't realize with these dirt track cars how sophisticated and how smart people like you and your dad and the Stakes and whoever else that race these cars, how smart they are. I mean, you got to have knowledge to run these cars, you know, and you know, you all did the best thing. I don't know all the details. I'm not trying to get into anything personal. I just want you to know you all did the best thing. You all, just the drivers, if they would just let the drivers get together and hash this stuff out. Yep. You know, 90% of the time it's the people that want to throw gas and then they want to stand back and laugh at the fire.
Yep.
You know, and then they go on to the next fire and, hey, can I throw gas? It don't have nothing to do with what number you are, who you are, where you live. It's just, you know, just drama seekers. But I did feel a little sorry for you. I don't think that anybody should have to go through that stuff, the name calling and all that kind of stuff. But I was really thought it was cool the way you and him got together and talked things out. I think that should be known in the racing world. You know, I think these tracks got to do a better job of making that happen. You know, the old days, they would take me and they'd take the guy that I can't stand and they'd get us together before the races and say, if you guys are going to freaking touch each other, you'll be out for the rest of the year.
Yep.
You better learn how to coexist. You know, and that was the old, not that I'm that old, but I mean, that's what they did. You know, you hear a story about Randy Grove years ago, putting the Wallses in the mud truck and whoever the Wallses was beefing with at that time, you know, and they'd take a ride around the track and he'd say, listen, this track don't need you guys. You can either learn to race or you can go home.
Yep.
You know, and I think the tracks, I'm not talking about Port Royal, I'm talking about tracks in general. I think the tracks can do a better job. I don't think it's all on your shoulders. But not, like I say, this is me looking in from an outside point of view. Nobody has to listen to what I'm saying. I'm just doing a show and just trying to be sensible. But
Trying to promote racing.
yeah, I felt that that the way you was treated was unfair. I don't know your history between those two. I don't expect you to go into it. But anybody that races a car knows that there can be things that lead up to this. I'm not saying your situation there was. I'm just saying when two guys get together that race all the time together, there can always be something that happened months ago that just is in the back of your mind.
Yep.
And that people got to realize that.
And that's, I mean, that's what it was. It was just build up tension. And I'll be honest, like, throughout all this, I give a lot of credit to Dylan because honestly, like, even after that whole deal, he was the first one to come to me, and we had another incident, another track. He was the first one to come to me and, he apologized, we both settled our differences and stuff like that. I mean, he definitely should, because I don't really know Dylan that well outside.
Oh, really?
with
I
racing.
thought you guys kind of really.
We raced with each
raced
other,
a lot,
but
yeah.
Competitive wise, like we knew each other on the track and stuff like that, but we never really talked a whole lot. So, I seen a whole new side of Dylan that I'll be honest, I didn't really think that. Like, I didn't think that was really a side of Dylan that there was. So, I mean, and honestly, like the first time after he messaged me and stuff, like it was settled. But it was still in the back of my mind, and then
You
it
seen
happened.
that first message? You was like, "Oh, should I read this or not?"
Yeah, and I give him a lot of credit because it takes a man to really try to settle things between even after what happened there at Port.
But I
He
think
didn't have to.
I think it's better that way, though.
Yeah,
I'm the kind of person where I want to get it off my chest, deal with it, whether you agree or agree to disagree, and move on.
yep,
You know what I mean? And I didn't bring you on the show to talk about this. I just think that you and him both handled it really well. And I was unhappy also with some of the streaming services. I felt like it should not have been put out there the way it was. It was not that big of a draw to drag you guys into this, this thousands of viewers and followers and and then everybody on there has a comment, and I wasn't real happy with the streaming, the media outlets that did that, and but just
the media, that's what the media is for.
I understand
The media is
that.
trying
I understand
to tear
that, but-
everybody apart.
yep,
I
They
understand
want
that.
to separate everybody. That's what they want to do.
Yeah, but this is the racing media, though, not the.
Yes, but they're the
News
same.
media.
They're the same way. They want to take.
They would look for a
push
story.
people
bad news
apart.
is good news.
To click
sir.
to get clicks on,
Yes.
But anyways, I was watching it. I seen it. I had to chuckle a little bit, not for either side, just like what the heck did I just see?
Yeah,
But to get you 5 minutes on the show, I just want to tell you that I think you handled it great. What you did, whether you think it was right or wrong, that's none of my business. Fortunately, no one was hurt, so you don't have to worry about that part. I don't think you was treated quite fairly as far as some of the media and stuff. I think the tracks need to do a better job on not just taking money at the gate, but working on the atmosphere
Yep.
and the racers. If you see someone getting a little mad at each other, pull them off to the side, away from, grandma with the Pall Mall hanging out of her mouth. And I'm just going to,
Yeah,
I'm just
no,
going to, I'm going into comedy stuff
Yeah.
now. But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To get it nipped in the bud,
Yep.
don't let it get that big. But anyway, I commend you and Dylan on what you guys did, and I'm glad it's behind you. And I was questioning how much I was going to talk about on the show because I like to have fun on the show.
yeah.
But I think it probably made you a different person.
Oh yeah, I definitely, especially like if something happens, in a negative way on the track, like it was so easy before just to flip a switch and be mad, and because in the car you don't see the whole story. Like you're sitting out in the stands, like you see it from a different view. But if you're in the car, you only see so much. Just like that whole deal at Port Royal, I had no idea he clipped the wall, and then I acted out because it looked like I just got used up. And now looking back at it, or in other situations, it doesn't help just to get fired up and just act a fool right out right off the bat. It's just easier just to, cool down. And if you're gonna want to hash it out, talk about it. It ain't worth causing a scene on the racetrack just because you're mad at the time.
I commend the people that do take it. I mean, there's a lot of drivers out there that you see get used up, and they go back to their pits and they act presentable and they act.
Yep.
And I'm just like, man, I want to be like that dude.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Not that I want my car tore up, but I want to have that, and maybe, I don't know, I'm trying to be like a Dr. Phil thing, Shirley, but maybe it's a blessing in disguise. You got to live through this without anyone getting hurt, but it was just enough to get your attention to maybe make you a different person. Not that you was a bad person,
Yep.
but like, anytime someone does something, Shirley, that they regret, anything. I don't know what to say. Just say you hit somebody or something, at a bar one night or something.
Yep.
And,
It's like once you put it out there, you can't take it back.
Exactly.
you can't take it back, but I'm sure going through that process of all the stuff that happens, whether it be court and stuff or whether it just be Facebook drama, you learn from it, and you start maybe handling things differently because you got an opportunity to go through this.
Yeah.
So it makes you a better person in the long run because you've been there.
Yep.
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
it's a rocky road that you had to go through.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I do got a few comments here.
hopefully I didn't say nothing wrong and I'm not getting yelled at.
Brian Jones.
Oh, Brian won't
Randy
yell.
had them in the water truck.
Ain't that what I said?
And then,
Lap around the track in the water
and
truck.
Rodney Walls says Armel.
I knew Rodney would know. The Armels and the Wallses.
And Amber Farling says, so proud of how you're doing, Taylor. Beyond proud of being your little sister. You're keeping your dreams. You have an army behind you.
Thanks, sis.
Yeah, that's good. Well, we got that behind us. I hope I handled everything
Oh yeah.
the way you're happy and I didn't embarrass nobody or, huh?
Jordan Welsh says, tell Taylor, one of 23 pit crew members for Branson Woodward.
Oh, he must help Branson.
Okay.
Yeah.
1 of 23.
No, he's number 23.
Oh, I thought there was 23 crew guys.
Yeah, man, can you imagine that? I'd like to have 3.
And Brian, I just want to let you know, we always have a chair for you if you ever want to come.
Yeah. So, we got all that behind us now. Hopefully, maybe someone will hear something I said, and maybe someone will try to, maybe an official at a track will try to make things differently for the drivers, and the drivers will try to make things differently for themselves. And we're at a different age now, era, I'll say, where years ago this crap went on, and it was just, fight on Saturday night and forget about it on Sunday. But
Yep.
nowadays, especially with you with a business and a family and all, you have a lot more to think about. You race to have fun and have a hobby.
Mhm.
You don't need all this
No.
negativity.
No, my wife told me that plenty of times. She, after the incident at the first track there, she was definitely riding my case about it because I'm not one to retaliate. Throughout the years I raced, I've never been one to cause a scene at a racetrack or anything like that. And then she kind of seen a glimpse of me losing my temper, and she definitely didn't care for it. And then after the last incident, she definitely fit to be tied with me as far as how I acted.
It's never the ones that deserve it, though.
Yeah.
The ones that you see hot-headed every week, they're never the ones that get videos put online about them.
Yeah.
And, But
Yeah.
no, I appreciate you, getting that out of the way. And like I say, don't take it all on your own shoulders. I think that you and Dylan handled it well. I don't think both of you all should bear all of the blame. I think there's some other things that could be done a little better to make something like that in the future
Yeah.
go better
Yep.
for everyone.
Yep.
And thanks for making yourself vulnerable. This is usually a funny show. We usually don't get serious on this show.
Yeah.
But we appreciate that. And so let's get back to better topics. You got a heck of a season going this year.
Yeah, it's been crazy. It started out decent, like we were running pretty good, and then we got the almost first win, and then we laid that engine over, and then we finally got the monkey off our back and got the first win jitters off of us, and I don't know, just trying to get that first win for the season's just, it's tough. You want to get it out of the way so that way you're not worrying about it, because nobody wants to end the season without getting that chance to win.
Yeah.
But then after you get the first one under your belt, then it's, I like to think it's kind of smoother sailing from there. Then you can kind of get into your rhythm. But this year especially, I mean, they keep on coming. And we've had a real good car up there at Pat Valley, and we keep trying things, and they keep working. So we're just going to hopefully keep doing what we're doing. Maybe hopefully one more up there before the end of the season.
Now you went to drastic opposite ends. You're racing, winning at Pat Valley, then you won at Bedford.
Mm-hmm.
What is your forte, do you believe?
As far as what?
As far as the length of the tracks.
Well, I mean, honestly, like Pat Valley, I love going to Pat Valley. I love bull rings. I've always been a fan of bull rings. The big half miles, there's a lot more setup involved, a lot more thinking that's required. And like, I feel like on a bull ring, it puts it more into the driver, because you don't have to worry about if you lose a little bit of speed in the middle of the corner on a big half mile. That's not going to affect the whole corner. At least on a bull ring, like, you can make up for it, and everybody's always on top of each other. And I love lap traffic, so every time we hit lap traffic, like, it's fun dicing through them. But Pat Valley, to me, it's a fun track. I love racing there. And Bedford, we got a lot of laps up there, and it's always kind of been like my hometown track. Everybody up there is great. I love going to see them.
And it's different.
Yeah.
It's different. It's not an easy track to conquer.
No, and these past couple of years, it's really been changing. It's been getting drier, and feature time. Sometimes it can be pretty hard to get a handle on it. But yeah, I mean, we've always been pretty consistent up there at Bedford, so I'm not saying I'm going to go up there and win every time, but just having the amount of laps on the track, it makes it a little bit easier to kind of figure the car out up there. But yeah, it's I don't know. I've always been a bull ring racer, but Dad loves the big half miles, so we always went wherever we both were going to go. I was always tagging along with him wherever he was going to go. But yeah, we've been trying to kind of keep going to multiple different tracks, because whenever we went and raced with the Mason-Dixon series, that was the best thing that could have happened to us, honestly, because that gave you a reason to go to another track, and then you raced against the guys in the group, you raced against the best in the locals, and I want to keep that up, because I feel like if I stay at a track too long, I don't really feel like it's as exciting as what it is getting to go to different tracks and trying new things. So that's kind of why I think it's. And
I don't think you put the pressure on yourself either.
No.
When you show up at a track that maybe you've never been to before, you ran there one time, you roll in thinking, man, hopefully I can do good.
Yep.
Or if you roll into Pat Valley, you're thinking, I should win tonight. Not that it's a give me, but I mean, you don't feel bad when you run third or fourth. Where you go to these other. I always like going to different tracks. Just it's a breath of fresh air. Different people, different.
Yep.
But I got to chuckle a little bit. I don't want to go back to your deal with being suspended from tracks, but I thought it was kind of funny that I kind of feel like you paid the price, like someone that goes to prison. You went to prison, you paid the price, you get out of prison, and then you took lemons and made lemonade.
Mm-hmm.
That you went to Pat Valley and Bedford, and you put all that other crap behind you, and you started winning races.
Yep.
And that showed everybody that you learned your lessons, you moved on, and you're not letting that hold you down. You're winning races. So
I'll be honest, whenever I started to get banned from the rest of the tracks, poor Roll, they had to do what they had to do. I get it. I'm not holding that, whatever. But then I started to get banned from
I
the
thought it was
rest of
kind of
them.
ridiculous.
And
but-
that's whenever it started to kind of hit home. It's like, man, this is kind of getting serious now.
Yeah, who else has that ever been done to? Think about it.
I don't remember signing any contracts in the beginning of the year that said it was going to happen. But my first race back, I run the Wingless Sportsman for the guy my dad drives for, and we went to Path Valley. And I'll be honest, I was not in the right mindset. Like that week, I was telling Dad, I said, if I get banned from all these tracks, like I'm done. I said, if this is how the sport wants to treat me, then I just didn't feel
Yeah,
like
you
that's,
get better.
yeah. I was like, I just don't want to be around it. And he helped kind of keep me positive about it. And then we got to go to Path Valley, and we run the Wingless Sportsman. I just wasn't in the mood to race. I just did it. I run the makeup feature and
Went
everything.
through the motions.
So then after I got that through, we went back in the late model, and just kind of being back in the car and everything kind of helped smooth everything over. And then the wind started coming and things started working out, and it definitely helped me move along past it. And then, getting to settle it in front of everybody with Dylan, that really helped me too, because I felt like I got drawn up as this terrible guy that just acts out of aggression everywhere I go. And it's like, that's not
No.
who I am, and that's not who I ever was. And I just, getting to kind of put my side of the story out there in a way to show that that's not who I am and who I want to become, that just kind of helped everything just,
I was very
smooth
surprised you did a video. I was very surprised. Whenever Shay put that on her, I was like, man, Shay, I hope you know what you're doing. I was like, not with you two, but just with him.
Yeah, it was a touchy subject.
Making it, bringing it out.
Yeah.
I didn't know if that was a good idea but it all worked out, and I'm glad that you guys worked out. But I just, like I say, I thought it was pretty cool. The season you've had, it's like the Lord's looking down on you saying, man, you paid your price. You did what you had to do, and now, you're back on the horse. So it's kind of like, I don't want to say you got the last laugh, but I mean, it was awesome that you made the season what you did.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was really great, and I was glad to see the wins coming, because I was like, I don't think nobody ought to be labeled for life. I mean,
Yeah.
everybody gets, how, man, this stuff, I'm telling you, people, I'm not trying to bash people in the stands or anything, Taylor, but you know how it is, man. People don't realize what you go through in a race car.
Yeah, it's a blood, sweat, and tears sport. I mean, and the ones that you see the emotions come out, those are the dedicated ones. I mean, we spent a lot of time
I'm
and
telling
effort.
you, I'm ashamed of the way some of the stuff I did. I was a hothead.
Yeah,
Because, I mean, you worked hard and you gave everything you had to give. And whenever you're racing people clean and you feel like somebody takes you out on purpose because they don't want you to win, it's hard to go back to the pits and just
tough pill to swallow.
load everything up. And,
Yeah,
especially if it's freaking hot that day. I don't know about you, but I'm a fat guy. When it's hot out, I don't do well.
yeah, yeah. It's a dedicating sport. I mean, you got to put a lot of time and effort into it, and sport's definitely not getting any cheaper. So you bust one up. I mean, our sponsors are great and they help us out a lot, but at the end of the day, it's a lot of money to fork out, especially if you get it busted up.
Yeah, you're right. Nobody wants to do that. And as a driver, you're 99% sure when someone gets into you, if it was, I don't want to say 90% sure that if it was avoidable or not. I mean, you can hear the motor, you can,
Yep.
But I think people have really done I don't want to open my mouth up because we still got a race to go. But I was going to say, it seemed like the last, I don't know, so many months, at least for us, we've got tore up, but people have been, like, it's been fun to race.
Mhm.
Like, we've been 3 and 4 wide, and everybody gives 2 inches, and, everybody has been, like, it's been fun to race because, you've been racing.
Yep.
And everybody's just standing in their lane. I know I'm going to jinx myself. Watch what happens at Hagerstown this weekend. But I mean, it's been fun the last couple of weeks because it's been a racy track.
Yep.
And you can actually race. I mean, everybody wants to win, but you know, Taylor, whenever you can race with people,
It's fun.
it's fun. That's
Yeah.
what you want. And your crew guys are the same way. They want to stand on the trailer and watch you pass people.
Yep.
You know, and race door to door and feel competitive.
Yep. Nobody wants to see single file racing. Everybody wants to see, everybody racing for the spots. Yeah. So,
Swapping.
yep.
They want to see some swapping.
Yeah. Yeah, last couple weeks at Hagerstown, man, I probably enjoyed it the most out of the whole year because everybody wants it fast.
Yep.
Muddy and fast.
Yeah.
And you can't satisfy everybody.
Yeah.
But I like when we show up and dust is coming off of, because then I know that things are going to be going a little slower. You know, things may not get tore up as much because the cars are slower.
Yep.
And you know, that kind of stuff. But the only thing helped us was no rain and sun and
Yeah.
you know.
Honestly, I'm right there with you. I'd rather have a slick track over a heavy fast track anyways, because I really think that you got to do a lot more thinking with your setup. You got to drive better. You know, it's track's fast and heavy. You got a cushion to lean on. Anybody can run that. So if you got to try to keep the cars underneath you, there's definitely a certain few that can do it better than other ones, and
Yeah.
it shows whenever the track slicks off.
What's the best season you ever had?
This year,
This year's your best season?
yep, the year I won my championship, we had 3 wins, and me and Dad were talking because I want to say he either had 3 or 4 wins in a season, and we were talking because we were coming up on tying each other, and then after I tied him, then there was like two or three more afterwards, and yeah, we've always been consistent. We've always been really decent. We're always around
Yeah.
the top 5, but as far as consistently winning as much as what we wanted to, we weren't there. But this year we struggled last year. We took the car to get on the pull down rig, and we learned a lot, but I couldn't factor what I learned into what I was doing on the weekends. And the longer it went, the more I understood what we learned to an extent, or to a degree that where I could actually use it. And now I think this year, being that what we learned from last year, and we kind of build off of that, it's kind of played a big part into why the car is really working as well as what it is this year. So, and between that and not having the stress of trying to keep the car going throughout the week, Dad's really took that weight off my shoulders completely here this year. So,
If you could change anything, would you change anything? Do you think the shocks need to be like maybe a spec shock? Do you think that we need to save money on the engines? I mean, I know everybody said nobody wants to agree. Everybody says rules cost more money, but what's your opinion of these cars nowadays? I mean, you're only a couple cubic inches away. Well, I won't say couple, but
yeah.
cubic inches
Close.
and aluminum is about all your difference you are with a Super anymore.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I mean, I never got to run like shocks you couldn't adjust or anything, because whenever I first got into the late models, all that where we ran, we already run adjustable shocks and everything. But from the way it seems, I guess between the shock packages, as expensive as they are and as crucial as they are to how well you do, that and like how aero the cars are. I mean, don't get me wrong, racing, like it's still racy, but if you get too close to somebody, I mean, you tighten up, you can't help it. But I don't know if it would help the sport to. I seen a video of a guy. He was talking about like going on skinnier tires and changing the front ends around to where it would be racier, and then with tires being skinnier, you'd like to think it would be cheaper. And I don't know if that would change how the cars would work to where it would kind of level playing fields out from being able to buy the best setup and shock package that money can buy, or if it wouldn't, I really don't know. But I mean, at the end of the day, racing's going to keep evolving and changing, no matter if we want to stop it or not. And unfortunately, if you don't jump on the train, it's going to leave you.
And you can't do much without the touring series is changing, like the body rules, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, now I know the shocks and engine is more of the local, but the bodies is most tracks go by like the Lucas Oil rule book and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I always thought, wouldn't it be cool to put like a Monte Carlo nose on a late model?
Yeah.
Like get it off the ground
Get the wedge out of it.
and see what, like, how it handled, or
Yeah.
I know you can't go back, but I always liked all the old videos with, like, I guess it was leaf spring cars, or the one just like the old Hagerstown, 80 some Hagerstown videos. They always, I mean, them guys just, like, they looked like they weren't going to pass each other, and then all at once they would just, like, yank somebody down the back stretch, and everybody was flat.
Yep.
You know, but then it is cool to see, like, someone goes to racetrack, never been to racetrack before, and they watch a warm up. It's amazing to look at their face whenever a late model comes down the straightaway, and the left rear is jacked way up in the air, and the right rear end, the thing's yawed out, and everybody's like, "What the heck is that?"
Yep.
Anything, Shirley?
Carolyn Coons says you raced with the Miller family at Path Valley.
Yep.
Oh, Carolyn, yeah, Barry Miller and Brian. Well, I guess Maddie ran Path Valley also.
Yep. Yeah, I know Barry pretty good. I tell you, that's got to be the nicest guy in the pits, I swear.
We always say that.
Yep.
Man.
We always say that.
Barry is a good guy.
Yep.
We tell everybody that Barry. We don't get to see him much now as what we used to, but Barry is one of the generally good guys in the sport that would give you anything and race you clean, and just, you know. And I'm sure you're the same way as what anybody else is. You want to go to a racetrack and you want to race hard and clean and go home, and whether you win or lose, you want to go home and feel like you did the best you could and everything, you know.
Yep.
And nobody really goes to the racetrack thinking, "Oh, I'm just going to run in here and just drive into everybody." And, you know.
Yeah. No, I mean, no sense in it. You run into somebody and bust a nose up coming out of your pocket.
What do you think about these noses, man? Aren't they something?
They're expensive.
Them things are a pain in the butt, ain't they?
Yeah. Yeah. They,
Just look at the Lucas Oil guys. It's like running for points, and like they get into one little bump, and it buckles the nose up, and like they're done. I
Yep.
mean, they can beat on that nose all they want. I mean, you think they would want something better?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, you would think. But I guess they probably have a handful of them in the trailer ready to bolt back on whenever they mess it up. So
you're gonna try super racing.
yeah, we're gonna try it. We really wanted to try the ULMS series, just because the main reason we wanted to either go crate racing or super late racing is where I could go to other tracks that I couldn't typically go with the limited.
Yeah.
So I don't want to get into the normal, like, running, a local track all the time. If we got a super and we can go to some big shows and go try different places, that's what I want to do. Now, hopefully, like, I know the engine program's a heck of a lot more expensive than what a limited program is. So as long as the engine program stays together, doesn't come apart, first couple laps into it, then we'll keep going and trying it. But I don't know how long we'll be into it. It just depends on how long it stays together.
What's your opinion on the 525s?
I've heard a lot of good things about them, but I don't know anything personally about them other than talking to some guys in the pits.
It's kind of like it's hard to find information out of them,
I was talking to somebody about it last week, and I guess, like, they say the horsepower is a little bit down, but they weigh less, and you got to put that 50 pounds in front of the mid plate, but it's still 100 pounds less than the steel block, steel heads, and
they have more torque.
And yeah, exactly. And I guess because I'm sure you know as well as I do, with the limiteds, especially on a heavier track, like, they seem like they can get bogged down pretty good, and that's usually why we're screaming the guts out of them and try to keep that from happening. So I guess if the torque curve stays up and you don't have to run the RPMs as high, you would think it'd be a pretty good combination, but I don't know. We got too many limiteds, I guess, with steel heads to go try.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to spit in the local engine builders' faces, but I also understand that that's starting to be a big deal to travel places. Mm-hmm. A lot of the tracks are, basically having like 525 classes and stuff, and it's a shame because I'm not against the engine. It's just a shame we all have this engine package.
Yeah.
And most tracks vary from it a little bit as far as maybe cylinder heads or stuff like that. And then now there's a whole other ball game, and it looks very economical.
Yeah.
I mean, without the dry sump system, and I mean, if I was definitely getting into limited racing, and I needed an engine, I'd probably look that route just because the simplicity of it.
Yeah.
But then I feel bad for everybody that has steel blocks, and at Hagerstown they've been pretty competitive both ways. I mean, you have some that have really good nights and win, and some that run top 5, and
Yeah.
I think they did a pretty good job of getting them leveled out. I just don't know about our engines only go so far before you have to
Freshen them up.
have something changed too, like if you want to go to Eldora or you want to go.
Yeah.
I think the series is pretty cool. That's what I think. I wish we could get another steel block series
Yeah.
in the area.
You and me both, because I mean that Mason-Dixon series that was a lot of fun. I mean, like I said, it gave you a reason to go somewhere else and try new tracks, try new things, and you got to run with a lot of good guys.
Surely you ain't watching the computer.
Go ahead.
Renee Farling, so proud of you, buddy, and everything you do with the business, your family, and racing.
Thanks again, sis.
Yeah, thanks everybody for tuning in. Hopefully we talked about everything you want to talk about. I do want to give you time, Taylor, to thank anybody you want to thank. Say anything you want to say. It's your floor. You can do whatever you want to do.
Okay. Well, I mean, first and foremost, I got to thank my dad and my pap. Biggest attributes as far as my racing career. Got to thank my wife, my kids at home. Biggest supporters. My crew guys that help me. Maybe not in a race car, maybe on a race car. Anything I need help with. Dave, all his kids. We joke and we call him the six pack, Kenny Rogers, and Mike, Ed. The guys that help me back home. Tyler, big help in the shop, and then he helps me anytime he can with any other projects I got going on. Always got to thank my sponsors, Sailors Market, which they're not Sailors Market anymore, but they've been a long time sponsor on the car for as long as I've been racing. Nakian Tires, Kessler Auto Glass, Jerry's Towing, Coix and Associates, Curiosity Corner. I'm usually pretty good at forgetting these. I should write them down someday.
Walk around the car.
Yeah, exactly. That's usually what I got to do. I mean, this year's been really good to me. Outside of anything that happened in the middle of the year that was bad, I mean, it all just rebounded and everything kind of took a turn for me. I got to thank the tracks that kept me around, like Path Valley and Bedford and all the tracks that gave me a second chance in a sense to keep doing what I love. I got to thank all my fans and supporters that were there for me throughout the whole mess, and that really kind of helped keep me in good spirits and keep me going. And I got to thank my stepmom Danielle. She helps my dad on the race car at home too. I got a lot of things to be thankful for, and I got to thank my Lord and Savior. He's always looking out for me and
Amen.
keeping me in the right path.
Right here he is.
Yep. So, without him, there's always life lessons and things you got to learn, and I think this is just one of those deals there where he took me through a passageway to try to learn things and hopefully be better from it. So, and I gotta thank Dylan too. He good man. He didn't have to go with me and try to iron things out, and really thankful for how he came out of the whole deal with me for it. So.
Well, I think you had a really good season. I mean, you're still got races to go yet. Like I say, I think you handled everything well, and hopefully you can put it behind you and make it something that you don't, need to talk about anymore. Real quickly here, I just wanted to say that it was pretty cool to see Drake Troutman sweep the weekend at his dad's memorial race. 3,000 the one night, 7,000 the next night. Had the newly crowned Pure Stock champion Cal Beckett won the Pure Stock race. Semi-lights was Chubby Childers, and four-cylinder was Javid Farewell. And late model sportsman was a guy, man, he ain't won Holly at all this year, Lane Snook. I think he's won about everything this year.
Yeah, how
he's
about it?
he's on a roll, man. He's got a season everybody dreams of.
Yep.
I thought the Hagerstown deal was pretty cool. People didn't know what to expect. They had the thrills and spills and the demo derby. They had 12 Crown Vics. Pretty cool to have two brothers win classes. Jamie Swank, which runs semi-lights, he won the Crown Vic race, and his brother Jeremy Swank won the 100-lap Enduro. And he was the only car on the lead lap. He lapped everybody. And the demo derby is pretty cool. Bryson Fogel won $1,400. I told him we wreck cars every week for $500. But the thing to have is a minivan. The minivans is what was dominating the demo derby. But now they have different rules for what you can do, what you can't do. And real quickly here, everyone, if you bear with me, Winchester has the Crouch Memorial this week, $2,092 for pure stocks, $2,000 to win crates, $1,000 to win East Coast Legends Series. Hagerstown's got the Clash by the Creek, Late Model Sportsman's, IMCA Race Saver 305 Sprints, and Classic Cars. Potomac has crate late models, limited late models, hobby stocks, strictly stocks, and U-Cars on Friday. Then on Saturday, they got the Fall Class Series with the Darrell Hills Memorial, which is $10,000 to win super late models, street stocks, roadsters, and vintage cars. Williams Grove is 410s and 358 Sprints. Sillins Grove is canceled due to an electrical issue. Dog Hollow has 305 Sprints, pure stocks, pro stocks, Rush crate late models, 4 cylinders, and 358 late models. Roaring Knob, 800 to win crate late models. UMP Mods, 800 limited late models. Sport Mods, Chargers, and 4 cylinders. Path Valley has no racing on Saturday, but they have the Sunday. They have the Kubota High Limit 410 Sprints there. That's going to be a wild. I bet that place is going to be packed. Bedford has no racing. Baps has no racing. Natural Bridge has championship night late models, 604 late models, 602 late models. Street stocks, pure stocks, 4 cylinders. Lincoln is 410 sprints, 410 to 358 sprints. And Linda's has a Charger championship with front wheel drives, all-star slingshots, junior slingshots, and modifieds. So man, I had to read all that out. Well, Taylor, thanks again for coming. Hopefully you had a good time. Awesome season you're having, man. And I wish you the best of luck the rest of the year. And like I say, once again, I think you should be proud of yourself for how this season went and how everything was handled. And don't stop looking, don't look back. Keep going forward.
That's the
But
plan.
thanks again for coming in. Thanks to my wife. And happy birthday to my granddaughter. And hopefully we'll see everybody next Tuesday. Thanks for tuning in to WRGG 93.7 FM. And once again, everybody knows Todd Ward, TA Ward Construction. You need some home improvements, call him up. Look at his stuff on his Facebook page. He has all kinds of pictures on there of stuff he's done. Beautiful work. He's a perfectionist when it comes to that stuff. And hope everybody has a great week. The weather's getting really nice here. And hope to see you next Tuesday.